I'd like to welcome everybody to my new project. As you can see, it's a Zenith. Yay! This is a 1934 Zenith 807. And I got this radio through a viewer. He sent me an email telling me he had this radio, which his father had, and he wanted to send it to me. So here it is.
Nice!
We'll talk more about that later, but first we'll just take a look at it and look at the beauty of this thing. There's the beautiful Zenith dial.
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
You can see the Z on the pointer there. Looks pretty snazzy, huh?
Yeah!
I like that. Well, there's the money shot. It's another Tombstone radio. And since it's from 1934, it seems I've had a lot of 1934 radios lately, huh?
Very good year.
Unlike the Crosley 179, the cabinet is in good shape. It's got some minor cracks here.
Not bad.
But nothing we can't repair. There's the side. There's the inside. Let's take a look at the label here. Zenith Super Heterodyne Receiver. And it's got a patent number. Zenith Radio Corp, Chicago, Illinois. Made in USA. Model 807. Volts 117. Cycles 50-60. Watts 58. It's got a serial number on there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-tube radio.
Yeah, you can count.
Has some nice looking tube shields there too. That looks like a 5 or 6 inch speaker. Looks in pretty good condition.
Hey, watch the fingers!
There's the cord. I would guess this is an original. At least the wire here. Just without anything being done to the cabinet, it looks beautiful.
I love it.
When I look at this, I see potential. If it looks this good, man, wait till I get finished with it.
No, baby.
There's the knobs.
Nice knobs.
Looks like they're wood. That's probably maybe band selector. On off. Maybe tone. Looks in pretty good shape. What do you think?
I think it's great because it's so bad.
I don't know if that's glass or plastic. And it looks like maybe it's cracked. I'm not sure. Now this radio did come with a little bezel here.
Ah, it's so good, eh?
Okay. Want to remove the chassis from the cabinet here. See if we can get these knobs off. It's 1, 2, 3. All right. I'm going to have to take the speaker out because it's hardwired to the chassis here. So let me get that done, then we'll just pull it out of here.
Hey, be careful! Be careful!
Got a little tear there, and a little bit tear there, and a little bit tear there. But overall, it looks pretty good. All right, let's pull it out of there. Let's just turn the whole thing around. You can see there's been work done to it here. We're going to discuss that in a minute here. Let's just flip it over and see what the underbelly looks like. Looks like it's nice and neat under there. Pretty good job on the recapping there.
You done good, buddy boy.
So the guy who sent me this radio, his name is John. Here's a picture of John at a trade show. His watch had stopped, and he had an appointment, and he couldn't find a clock to set it.
Oh, brother.
The Zenith radio belonged to John's father. He was stationed stateside during World War II and used to monitor the war news on this radio. John said he recapped this radio 40 years ago and then put it on a shelf. A few years later, he fired it up and it had a weak performance, so back on the shelf it went. And then a few years later, he pulled it out again and decided to fix it. And this is when he pulled out the coil, and along the way, he lost his notes on how it was connected. So he gave up. That's how I got it.
Forget it, I quit.
My goal here in part 1 is to get the radio working. And if that's a goal I can achieve, so be it. So John, I'm going to get this radio working. Hopefully as good as the day it was back in World War II when your dad was listening to the war news. According to the schematic, this part here is the detector and selector. So let's take this off and see what's underneath that can there. That should be fun.
I'm having fun.
We'll get the screws on the bottom and lift that can. Mamma mia! That's the summer coil, huh?
Holy cow!
Holy moly. Okay, so let's see here. We know this wire went here. I had to cut it to remove the can. This blue wire was not connected, so we do not know where that goes. This green wire was not connected, so we don't know where that goes. Let's get a close shot of that. Got a wire wrapped around here. Here's another angle through the back. We've got this wire. Looks like a new wire hooked up over here. Oh, what's this? Something loose here.
Uh-oh.
Is that the end of it? Uh-oh. We got a loose end here.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Does that go in there? Looks like that's connected there. So where does this other wire go to?
That's a mystery.
Think it goes underneath this thing? This thing is loose. Look at that, it moves up and down.
What is the meaning of this?
What's this here? Look at this coil here. Looks like it is missing some windings on here.
But I'm confused here.
This is pretty confusing here. I haven't determined where this thing, the end of this wire goes to. It goes onto this wire here. But this little coil here, there's a hole that goes to the inside of the coil here. Let me show you that. You see that hole there?
There it is. I can see it.
Looks like the wire goes into that hole there. Let me see if we can figure out where that goes. Okay, with this shot, there's multiple holes through that coil form. Now that one wire is going up here to the top and it's connected to one of the terminals. Now it looks like the end of the wire is right around here where all this goop, black goop is. I don't know if there's another hole that wire goes into or it's broken there. I'm gonna have to poke around here and remove some of this goop. Okay, I solved that mystery. The wire is not broken. It's going through that hole to the inside of that coil, just like this one here. And they're both going up to the top. So let's measure the continuity from here to here. Okay, that small winding here, one wire goes up to the blue wire here, and the other wire goes to the green. So let's just measure that. 0.5 ohms. Yeah, 0.5 ohms, which makes sense since it's only like 4 or 5 turns. So that coil is good. We'll just mark that down. What I think I'll do here, and I'll probably regret it, is remove this whole coil, disconnect it from the bottom here, just get it out of there so we can take a look at it real close, and then take some measurements and try to figure out which coil is which. It's been a couple of days, and I told you I was going to take this coil stack out, but before I do that, I think it's wise for me to try to power this up, just in case I screw something up taking it out. At least we'll know what the condition is as of now.
Good idea.
So we know this orange wire goes here.
Yes, that's correct.
And I was on the internet looking for some pictures of this radio, and I saw a few. And these two wires here, one of them goes here, and one of them goes here. Now which ones right now, I don't know. But that's probably pretty easy to find out. So I want to put some tape here, because there's some terminals here. Better be safe than sorry, right? Because you know old Buzz.
It's true.
Okay, I don't think that's going to short anything. So let's flip this over and see what it looks like underneath. Now all the wires are attached on the bottom here. The only thing that wasn't connected was this capacitor here. So according to the schematic, it goes right here. I'm going to solder that in there. Then we can power this up. Now I don't have these wires hooked up here. I just want to make sure it powers up. And of course there's no antenna hooked up to it because right now I don't know where the antenna goes. We just want to power it up, see if we can get some B+, and take it from there. You ready? I am. We'll flip that on. Variac is hot. The box is now hot. I turn that on. That's hooked up to one of the filter caps. So here we go. Voltage in, amps drawn. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
There's 60 volts. Oh, we got B+ ready. I can see the lights are on top. Let's go up to 90. The schematic said we're supposed to get about 250 B plus on this. Let's just turn the volume up. See if we get any static or anything. Nothing yet. Okay, it's about 100. $115. Got nothing there. Oh, we got something on speaker. Just a noise. B plus looks pretty good. Okay, I think we're okay. Now John, I noticed he replaced the resistors in his canned ohm and he put them up here. Looks pretty good there. It's getting a little bit warm, but it's okay, it's supposed to. Okay, now that we know that's working, I'm going to flip it over and we'll hook up those two wires up there. Don't go away. Okay, we're going to hook up these two wires here. I got some gator clips on them. So we'll just pick one and hook it up. Now, I've seen pictures on the internet and they either go here. This is the what is that tube? It's the A87 tube. One of them goes to here, and one of them goes here. Okay, we got the blue and the green. Let's just take my pick here. I'll take the blue. Try it up here.
For the major cities next month.
Whoa. All right, let's try the green over there. See if there's any difference. And we'll try the blue over here. One of these combinations is the way it's supposed to be, so. We're picking up about one station here. Now we haven't hooked up the antenna yet, so let's try that. Okay, see this coil here? This big one? Thick one? That's supposed to measure 35 ohms. So it's got to be one of these terminals here. So I'm going to just hook up the antenna to one of the terminals and we'll see what we get.
in whatever town you're in. And look, they're all...
Well, it picks up a few stations there. Let's see what happens when we flip it to short wave. Because we have a wire here that we don't know where it goes to. Well, it's trying to pick up stations. I don't have a very good antenna on here. My antenna consists of a wire hooked up to my window frame. So is this wire that has a loose end the key to the short wave? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a mystery. I think it's best to remove this and check it out, figure out which coil is which, write down the readings, and record this for posterity. So Coil, we will do that and remove you from the radio. What do you have to say about that?
If we must, we must.
As you can see, I took the coil out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Look at that little bugger. That's one busy coil, huh? Many coils on this stack. What we're going to check here is this. We're going to test this coil here. This is attached to the antenna. So when this switch is on the one position, so it goes down in here, goes around here, comes down to ground. Now this coil is the primary broadcast band. Now it should measure like 35 ohms. So I'm going to hook up the little meter and we'll test it. This will measure the ohms and the millihenries. Measures 34.4 ohms, 2.9 millihenries. So we'll write that down. Okay, next we're going to test the secondary coil from the top of it down to the bottom here. Let's see how many ohms that is. .9 ohms, 0.20 millihenries. Okay, we'll write that down. Okay, now that we tested the secondary from the top all the way to the bottom, let's just check this section here from the top to this point here. Now the first section of that secondary coil is this one here. Remember that? So that secondary is actually in a couple of parts. So we're going to measure this like I did earlier. It goes to the green and blue points. We'll see what this is. Look, it's measuring like a resistor. It's a 0.92 ohms. So we'll write that down. Okay, the next section we're going to test is from this point here, which is the blue wire, down to this section here, which is the orange wire. Let's see what that measures. Okay, that's 4 ohms at 0.08 millihenries. So we'll write that down. Okay, next we'll check the last part of this coil from here, which is the orange wire, and it goes down here to this capacitor. Let's see what that measures. So let's hit this. Let's see what that is. Okay, that's measuring 4.1 ohms at 0.07 millihenries. So we'll write that down. Okay, now we're going to move over to the short wave section. And I'm going to measure this coil here from the top to the bottom. There's also a small one here, and we'll discuss this later. But let's see what this one measures. .8 ohms, 0.25 millihenries. So we'll write that down. So this is the shortwave coil we just measured. But this has got this little coil here going over here. This is that winding that is loose. It's connected to this other coil, which goes to ground. Now, after I discovered that loose coil here, with one end not connected, I emailed John and said if he remembered any details about this. And he actually sent me a photo of the radio. Let's take a look at that. So here's the photo John sent me. And he took this picture before he started messing with this coil here. And this picture solves the mystery of where that wire goes. Now let's zoom in here a little bit. Now you see these wires here. This is the wire cover. This is the wire cover. Let me show you these on the actual coil. So this is the wire on the left side. And there's supposed to be another one up here. So we turn this around here. And it's not there. Guess what this wire goes to? This wire goes to ground. If you zoom up even closer, you see a few strands of wire wrapped around there. See that? Let's take a look at the coil again. So here's where the wire was wrapped around there 3 or 4 times. You can actually see the indentations of the wire in this goop here. You see them in here?
Yes.
So that is positive proof that that wire wrapped around that coil and went to ground.
I rest my case.
Let's take a little break from the Zenith, because old Buzz has a confession. You know, I'm a mushy guy. Always have been. I like mushy songs, mushy movies, like this one. This is Rome Adventure, made in 1962. It stars Troy Donahue and Suzanne Plachette. I first saw this film on TV in 1965. I was 14. Now you all know that I had a thing for Anne Margaret, but when I saw Suzanne Plachette, wow, what a babe. Let's take a look at this clip.
Al di là delle cose più belle, al di là delle stelle, ci sei tu, al di là, ci sei tu per me, soltanto per me, al di là del mare più profondo, ci sei tu, al di là dei limiti del mondo, ci sei tu, al di là della volta infinita, al di là della vita, ci sei tu, al di là, ci sei tu per me, la 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 la, la la.
What does al di là mean?
It means, it's kind of hard to explain. Far, far away. Beyond the beyond. Beyond this world. That's how much he loves her in the song.
That Troy sure was a smooth operator.
Della volta infinita, al di là della vita ci sei tu, al di là ci sei tu per me.
Look at her. Be still, my beating heart. Be still. Now that we know the winding goes over here, I want to take this wire off and use this wire here. This wire is like 4/1000ths of an inch, same as this. I'm going to feed the wire through this hole here, through the inside of the form, and bring it around here, wind it around this terminal, solder it there. Then we'll take this and wind it like 5 times around this section up here. I'm also going to put new wires over here and put some new wires here. So let's get that done.
Boy, sure spreading that on thick.
Well, I have completed the rewiring of this coil stack. Looks pretty slick, huh? Nice new wires here. Nice new wires here.
It's not that bad.
Here's that little coil.
It's so cute.
Where the end now goes to ground. I covered it in black heat shrink. Now I got the black here, and the black here matches the photo.
Well, isn't that special?
I put some nail polish on it to spiff it up. So, what do you think? Think it'll work?
Yeah, right.
It better, with all the work I put into this. I'm going to install this in the radio. That's coming up next. You don't want to miss that. Before we start, I want to clean off this tape here. At first I thought that was cracked, but it's not. And that is glass. Let's just try some alcohol on there and see if that will come off.
I want another drink. Pour it out.
What I need's a couple of good stiff drinks.
Well, it looks better. Until I can take the whole glass out and clean it better, it'll do. Well, there it is in there. I don't have the can on it. It might pick up some interference without the can on there, but we just want to test it. Make sure it still works. See if we can pick up any short wave. Let's fire it up.
(2011) that the Rangers won a series. The Phillies, meanwhile, making a habit of advancing, sweeping the Marlins.
He was silent about it. If he did, he was calling people to eject, like prodigal sons come back to their fathers.
Let your life be without not been watching the Bengals language. I do think that the
Continues. The stunning removal of Republican Kevin McCarthy as Speaker has left the House adrift. Republicans are now.
Michael Woodford, 2 years ago, in 2003, wrote a definitive book called Interested Prices. Mark Cianini of Barclays, their chief U.S. economist.
Let's try the shortwave band and see what we get.
Zenith 先生隊についての展覧会を企画し、一昨日から始まったということですが、きっかけは何だったんですか？
出発直前の自列空挺隊の様子。
Anybody understand what they're talking about?
を受けたカメラマン、これらに古市という人が撮影していました。そうした写真の多くは終戦時に焼却処分されてしまったのですが、これは。
这就让我们身后的这个豹人犯规动作，比方。
At the time, 13 hours, 15 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Zenith 过去说篮球的，在一些传统的篮球比赛里面，似乎是一。
예루살렘 교회의 장로들을 만나 그동안에 자신들을 통해서 이방 세계에서 이루신 하나님의 성령의 역사를 전하지만 교회 지도자들은 하나님께 영광을 돌리면서도 바울에 대한 염려를 가지고
근데 현장사에 되게
这可以打2+1了。
のおよそ29万人を追跡参加した結果。
Well, it's picking up quite a few stations. So we can call this a success.
Success! 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 Success!
Well, that should do it for today's episode. My goal was to get this antenna thing sorted out and get it working. And we did it. Sounds pretty good. Next month, we're going to clean up the chassis, do the cabinet, and we can probably finish it up. That's the plan anyway. So to close out the video, I thought I'd play a little bit of a mushy song, because I'm in a mushy mood today. Let's see how this sounds on the radio.
Didn't come here to cry, come here to break down. It's just a dream of mine, it's coming to an end. How can I blame you when I built my world around the hope that one day we'd be so much more than friends? And I don't want to know the price I'm gonna pay for dreaming. I need you now, it's more than I can take. Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long, how am I supposed to live without you? And how am I supposed to carry on when all that I've been living for is gone?
Good night, everybody. Stay tuned for Dickel's Comedy Club performance next.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Dickel F. Lockett.
Hi, folks. How you doing tonight? Want to hear a few jokes? Great. Let's go. Why did a cantaloupe jump into the swimming pool? He wanted to be a watermelon. What did the lawyer name his baby daughter? Sue. Why did the pig go to the casino?
I don't know.
To play the slot machine. What is the thinnest book in the world? What men know about women. A snake slithers into a bar. The bartender says, "I'm sorry, but I can't serve you." The snake asks, "Why not?" The bartender answers, "Because you can't hold your liquor." What should you do if your girlfriend starts smoking?
Oh my God!
Slow down and use some lube. Why don't bunnies make noise when they have sex? Because they have cotton balls. What's the difference between a tire and 365 used rubbers?
I don't know.
One is a good year and the other is a great year. A weasel walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Wow, I never served a weasel before. What can I get you?" "Pop," goes the weasel. Being an older gnome like me who's single and looking for fun is tough. The last time I was inside a woman was when I went to the Statue of Liberty. Here's my idea of a perfect date. I walk up to her door, ring the bell, and she answers the door stark naked and holding a six-pack. Joe Biden walks into Home Depot and tells the clerk he needs a saw to cut 10 trees on his property. The clerk holds up the best chainsaw in the store, and Joe buys it. The next day, Sleepy Joe returns it and says, "Come on, man, this saw ain't no good. It took me 2 hours to cut a teeny tiny tree." The clerk says, "Oh no, let me try it out." So the clerk pulls the cord, the chainsaw fires up and sounds powerful. Joe Biden replies,
What the hell is all that noise? There's my time, folks. Thank you very much. You're a great audience.